I actually wanted to be a lawyer. When you're studying business, they can't teach you how to be an entrepreneur. That was what led me to dropping out of business school. It takes forever to get anything done. They're really falling on deaf ears when it comes to me because you have a lot of wasted land. I actually wanted to be a lawyer. So when I left high school in England with A-levels, came home, got accepted to Norman Manley Law School, but this was 1979. And there was a lot of talk about how unstable Jamaica was, etc., etc. So my parents suggested that it might be best to talk to some other lawyers. And most of them actually said to me, you need to build your future outside of Jamaica. It was something I never understood because from childbirth, Jamaica was home. So we never looked at going anywhere but Jamaica. Yes, we were abroad at school, but we always expected to be back in Jamaica for our careers. Anyway, having said that, they convinced me to go to university in the States. So I went to Boston University to study business. When you're studying business, they can't teach you how to be an entrepreneur. They're teaching you from an administrative point of view. So they're actually teaching you how to work for big American corporations. What I am is not that. I am an entrepreneur. So I see an opportunity, I measure the risk, I want to get involved, and I do it. And that was what led me to dropping out of business school 3.5 years later, because I never saw that they could teach me that, and that was what I wanted to be. Actually, I really did want to be a lawyer, but that had gone through the window by that stage. So, come back to Jamaica and started hustling, seeing an opportunity, jumping on it. At the time, I borrowed $30,000 from my mother, which was a lot of money in those days, and became a master dealer for Carreras, because you had to buy $30,000 to be a master dealer. So the second week that I buy my quota of cigarettes from Carreras, government put a tax overnight in those days, and I got a windfall profit of about 30%, because you never made that kind of money on cigarettes. And so when I made that money now, I said, wait, this give me an opportunity now. And by selling the cigarettes to the higglers at the time, you start talking to them and they're telling you, oh yes, you have to go to Panama and buy goods and this and that. So I started going to Panama and buying goods and selling goods. And then from there, I said, boy, you're not going to be anywhere different if you do only keep buying from Panama like everybody else. So I took up a huge chunk of money to me at the time and invested it by going to China. So we were one of the first people now to start importing directly from China. And getting the linkages with my friends over there actually helped us to build out the whole Bashco network that you see today. We originally were bringing goods to wholesale. So all the higglers would come and buy from us. And then gradually, as the higglers themselves matured in the business, they themselves are traveling. So we saw the writing on the wall and we said, but hold on, we now need to go direct to the consumer. So we started opening up stores in every major town across Jamaica. So the consumer never needed to buy from the higgler who was coming to Kingston. It's an informal trade cycle in Jamaica, if you understand it.
So Bashco, Megamart, you're into financial services, a broad range and diverse range of businesses. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the spread of business activities that you're involved in.
Maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, some guys who we do business with through the banks, some really very smart individuals, approached me and said this is something that they wanted to do, is set up well, what is basically called alternative investment, small investment bank. I looked at the proposal and I saw where there was this huge niche for this kind of thing in the market. We sat down, the four of us, and I said, well, yeah, I'm willing to look at this thing based on your efforts, because I'm fully occupied. I mean, I can come to meetings every month sort of thing, but you guys are who are going to have to drive it. And that was how Cygnus was born. And it's a great little company. It's actually doubled and doubled in the first 2 years that it's been out there, mainly because of the commitment and the dedication of the team members. Again, they are the ones who have built it up to what it is. Prior to Cygnus, I want to say 10 or 12 years ago, we went into the gaming business. So you will see 100 Hope Road and Mosino's down in Montego Bay. Those are two gaming lounges that we have along with entertainment, because what I figured was that the gaming alone was not enough to sustain it. So we wanted these multifaceted entertainment spots. 2 years ago, we acquired a chain of supermarkets throughout the Dutch Caribbean, down in Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. They've done very well. We're actually expanding that chain down there as well.
You recently announced big plans for agri-business out of Lakes Bend in St. Catherine. Tell us about your entry into that side of the business sector.
It takes forever to get anything done when you're involving government. Then in, I want to say, 2016, we kind of identified this area now and said, look, this is what we really need to do. So we put the plan together, submitted all the things to the government here. By the time it got through cabinet and all of that, was about 2017 late that they approved the project. And we've been moving at a rapid pace since then. We should have greenhouses going up by February. And we should have crops coming from those greenhouses by middle of the year. So it's a very exciting time for us, because what we're doing is creating the perfect growing environment, which will lead to massive more yields than what is accounted for on the open field growth cycle.
There's a big competition between housing and agriculture, and as you said, there's a lot of activities that we can benefit from in agriculture. At Bernard Lodge, there's the plan for a new city. Does that concern you in terms of the land use pattern?
Well, it concerns me from the point of view that they call my name. But from that angle, you know, I've become immune to that sort of thing, and it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't get my attention much anymore, because I think if most people in Jamaica don't know what I do and what I'm about, they'll never know. So there's no point in fighting it anymore. The truth is that there are legitimate arguments on both sides of the fence. There is a genuine need for more housing, which is done close to the city. There's also a genuine need for rezoning within the cities, because if you look at most modern cities today, mind you, it comes with the facilities. You have to have proper sewage, proper drainage, proper this, proper that. But the densities within those cities are far higher than what you see in Kingston in general. We are not a high-rise. If you go to Santo Domingo, for example, every street corner now is a high-rise building. Miami, very similar. And I'm not saying to compare ourselves to anywhere. I'm just saying that we need to rationalize our thinking regarding these things. And there is a lot of wasted land in Jamaica. So the arguments about agriculture, they're really falling on deaf ears when it comes to me, because you have a lot of wasted land. Thousands and thousands of acres of what was sugar cane is no longer sugar cane. So plant something else on it. But don't tell me that they're converting everything to housing. Those are the sort of political arguments that we don't need to entertain. As a nation, we need to entertain what is reality on the ground. Reality on the ground is that half of Bernard Lodge is being sand mined illegally or garbage dumped on it. And it's not just Bernard Lodge, it's all over Jamaica. Because where government owns land, they can't police it. So everybody uses it to whatever benefit they want it for, and nobody says anything about it. It doesn't really work that way in the real world.